this is Emmy, and this is House of Chatter. And we're not talking about Blake Lively. We will probably talk about Blake Lively Saturday with Bocce, because I'll be live with Bocce. I'll also be doing like a mini series. I'll try to do like 15 minutes, just because life is kind of crazy right now. Well, you guys know my life is always crazy, but you know, here's a little update. I let my kids out to play. We did not get the cops called on us, but everybody was so stressed out that they were playing, meaning myself and my oldest. And it was really uncomfortable. Like, we got into several fights about the kids playing outside and whether or not the police would be called, or it was just such a negative situation when dealing with what we think is a neighbor who is probably crazy. Okay, that's too mean. Maybe they're not crazy, but it definitely feels like there's a creepy component to this stuff when you're living your day-to-day life, but yet you're getting law enforcement called on your children playing outside. And at sometimes there's instances where these people shouldn't even have the information about these children and what they're doing or supposed to be doing. But anyways, we had a successful play outside day. I also went back on Bumble, not because I want to date, but just because I want to like have some deeper, meaningful conversations with people. And I don't know how to meet other people and be like, hey, where are you from? What's your background? Like, what do you do? Like, general, just conversations with another empathetic human being. My conversations are centered around my kids and the nanny and work. And I just kind of want to, I don't know, be social without maybe having the public social pressure. Does that make sense? Like, I just want to, I like talking to people and learning about people and learning about new things. So this is where the tea comes in, right? Because I went back on Bumble. See, and Bumble is where that hotshot attorney is, right? Because I sleuthed him and I found out a whole bunch more stuff than what I was prepared for. But I thought he had originally ghosted me. But here he is again, getting into my DMs on Bumble, especially now that I've updated some photos. So instead of having my face masked, right, and you can't see the rest of me, I am wearing a very lovely black Calvin Klein dress, which is my favorite, and some black pumps. And I had my hair down, my eye makeup done, and I must say, I looked pretty damn good, and I was showing off my mom arms. That is one of my photos on my profile. And this time around, surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, I got a lot more DMs than I did prior. So I got not even 24 hours. There's like, I don't know, 15 DMs in my inbox. Not like of people being rude or whatever. There is one person who did say that I was hot and beautiful and gorgeous and asked me if I wanted to suck his face, which was very bold and very transparent. And I'm kind of grateful for that. The transparency part. Probably wouldn't interact with him in normal life. Probably not my type. So I'll probably skip that opportunity at this point. So, but it's just interesting. This lawyer, he ghosts me and then he comes back. And then this is the mucked up part, and tell me if this is a red flag. The hotshot lawyer made me, or didn't make me, asked me to read some of his articles or pointed out what articles to read. So I read them. And then there was a quiz. Yes, a quiz. A full launched cross-examination quiz. My feelings, and I might be exaggerating. If he's watching, you are still an a-hole and you're still closed-minded. Anyways, which was enlightening. And then we continued to talk, and then he ghosted me for about 6 or 7 days, but is back into my DMs. I gave him a book to read so that now he has homework, which is The Body Keeps Score, which is about trauma and how trauma changes our brains and our physical beings, and some of the decisions that we make aren't really our fault. They're as a result of trauma and the remodeling of our brains. I sent that to him to kind of open his mind, because in our first phone call or video phone call together, I got just pulled through the ringer. Like I felt like I was being cross-examined, but of course he is a lawyer or a retired lawyer, so of course. But I sent him that. And then he said that he had reserved it and then gave me some letters. And I was like, you reserved it at what? And I'm thinking, at a bookstore, at a website, where did you reserve this book at? So I asked about the letters. Hey, what does ABC mean? And this guy shot back with ABC. It's a library. It's where you can check out books and tapes and CDs and other material. And he mansplained what a library was, but he had also mentioned that the book would be available to him in 12 weeks. So let's go back to what that psychic said about June. Well, June is about 12 weeks away. So something's going to happen in June, and I'm kind of wondering if that is a connection or not. But anyways, so I was really offended that he had to dumb down what a library was because I didn't know his acronyms. So he sent me that message, and I shot back with, honestly, I was like, you're like the meanest person ever. I was just asking a clarifying question. Like, don't put me down for asking a clarifying question. Like, I was really offended. Maybe I shouldn't be offended, but I took it as like a put down. So that was my last message to him. I also called him closed-minded, which I think he is, based on previous comments. And then, of course, he has to dispute that. So now we're in this little Bumblebee debate. I still think he's a jerk. I still think he's an asshole. And he has a lot to learn. But at least he reserved the book, The Body Keeps Score. It's an interesting read. I recommend it to everybody. And as far as other relationships, conversations, it's still, I'm still having that very enlightened, spiritual conversation with this one person. And I've met another person who's very interesting. He is, I don't know how you say this, polyamorous. So he's like married, right? He's married, but he also has he's dating, right? And he's dating both sexes, right? And so I asked him, I'm like, what is the correct dating etiquette? Do you just go on this Bumblebee thing and be like, hey dude, I want to date you, and then you're just dating that one person for ever until you figure out you don't like them? Or can you date one person like have dinner, just dinner and conversation. We're not talking like dinner and then they drive you home and then they make out with you in your front porch. I'm talking like dinner conversation and then you go home. Like, can I do that? Can I like have a dinner conversation with someone and then like go home and have like no expectations and then like go meet somebody else with no expectations? Like, be friends, only friends, and not sideways friends. Like, is that okay? Or is there like, are there like secret rules that you're supposed to be doing? Like, are you expecting love bombing like this one guy did who thinks I'm hot? I mean, it's great for my ego, but like, how do you do this online dating? Because all it seems like is like you swipe left or right, and then you wait for them to talk to you. Unless, I mean, I have a whole list of people I could talk to now, but like, it just doesn't seem, I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't seem organic or like, this is just really new. I haven't online dated in like, I'd say 2012. And I met my husband at my workplace. So I have no clue what's going on these days. I don't know the etiquette. I don't know like the do's and don'ts. And I would really love to know the rules so that like, there's that trauma response. I want to know the rules so that I can be prepared in case something goes sideways or bad or wrong, or I do something wrong, or I offend somebody and then something bad happens. Like, can someone just give me like a manual? Or am I just like looking way too into this? But anyways, I do think this lawyer, he really gets under my skin and I hate it. Absolutely hate it. And I really do think he's closed-minded and mean. So anyways, but I guess we'll see what happens. Maybe he'll ask me out in 12 weeks after reading the Body Keeps score. And then maybe he'll like stop cross-examining me or giving me homework. Because who the fluff gives someone else homework? Like, I don't want to read about you. Like, you have this impressive career, okay? Impressive career. Military school, undergraduate in marketing and finance, a law degree, from what was it, the university? I'm not even going to say it on here because he obviously didn't want me to know, or whatever, I found out. But, law degree, DA in a very notorious, what some might say, crime-ridden area. Then went to the financial sector of government. And then went into policy of government. And then figured out that government is a swamp, essentially. And he became disillusioned. And he got out of it and went into private practice. Was a divorce attorney, so him grilling me on my divorce, I guess it's understandable. But, also I really know that it's simple and that I probably should have filed like a long time ago, because he really does say it's like simple. And hybrid moments, please get a life. But thank you for the comments. And I do find that word offensive. Anyways, so that's been my experience on Bumble. 0 dates, I will say, though one person did ask me out. They lived too far and didn't want to meet in the middle, which is fair, because I don't want to like I'm not going to drive to you. You know, like I meet you in the middle. But I'm not driving to you. I mean, you can drive to me. I'm totally cool with that. Like, go ahead, drive to me. But I'm not driving to you. That's my one boundary. I won't drive to you. And then we can meet in the middle. But yeah, if you guys have any like dating advice for me, or like what are the rules? What is the etiquette? Let me know, because I would love to know. You know, I would need like an advantage. I would look at this as like an advantage, because right now, you know, what do I have? I have, I hate this lawyer, but you know, the other two relationships, friendships, those are kind of awesome, you know, kind of enlightening. I'm reading a whole new book because of it. You know, I'm, you know, talking about life and, you know, like, oh, my day was so bad. The kids were so crazy. You know, and that's kind of nice to have someone to talk to, you know, because in the end, I'm pretty sure they don't care two squats about me. You know what I mean? Well, maybe the spiritual person, because he's all about like healing and positivity and good vibes and good energy and blah, blah, blah. I did ask him to dinner, but was working, so I don't count that against me. But anyways, yeah, give me some dating tips. What do I do? Where do I go? What is the best place for a date? What do you talk about? Like, are there do's and don'ts in what you talk about initially? And what are the red flags that I should be looking out for? Because I'm Emmy, and we all know that I miss them all the time. So maybe this time around, I could like, you know, maybe learn to identify some green flags for a change. You know, maybe I'll get flowers this time around. You know, I've never gotten flowers on a first date. That'd be cool. That'd be a new life experience. But yeah, so that is the tea. Also, for the Blake Lively fans, if you guys go rewatch the videos and send super chats or gifts, they will be donated. Well, we're still kind of figuring that out, and this should really be another video, but there is some controversy with one of Justin Baldoni's charities, and I had already posted it on Twitter that I wanted some of, you know, the super chats and gifts to go to that specific organization, because I felt that they would make the biggest impact locally. Well, the barrier that I'm coming up now is the person who's in charge of that charity has come out against Justin Baldoni, and even so in court filings. And so the production company is still donating to this organization per Google. Now, the dilemma I'm coming up with is, would you continue to donate even if there's a rift between Justin Baldoni and the person who's running the charity? Does that matter? Should that matter to us? Should we be on board to continue to donate and give back when there is strife? And how do you settle that? How do you rectify that? How do you make it fair? Because you guys know my heart. I want to make everything fair. Everybody should have a fair shot at donations and giving back. But what happens if there's that wrinkle? What do we do? So I have to research it. Leanne, thank you so much for giving me that information. I'm going to have to research it. I might do some soul searching, but in the end, what I'm leaning to right now is basically splitting it down the middle, so that I don't want to penalize another I don't want to penalize another charity because of drama, because the drama is going to blind us to the mission of giving back. And I don't want our mission to be hindered. And so this is one of the, I guess, moral dilemmas that I am coming up to. And who knows, I actually might ask the a-hole lawyer for his opinion, because he, this is what he does. He runs foundations and raises money for charity and gives it all away. Trish, apparently a red flag is flowers from the grocery store. I'll remember that. I still want flowers. I mean, they can be from the grocery store. You know, I guess in the end, what I'm really looking for is, yeah, getting love bombed is kind of nice. It is. I mean, being called hot and gorgeous and beautiful, it's all nice. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how my second husband got me. Hell, my first husband got me like that. My second husband just love bombed the out of me. Dinners, hotel dinners, casinos, dresses, road trips, food trips, just, you're the greatest person in the world. You're my dream girl. I'm going to marry you. I want a life with you. Everything's going to be perfect. I'll rescue you. Life is going to be amazing. And what can I say? I think maybe the psychic is right, and I sacrificed a lot of myself during my marriage, thinking that it was the right thing to do. I mean, I knew he yelled, but I married him anyways. And I knew there was intimacy problems, but I married him anyways. And my marriage might have made me really, really sick in the end. And I dropped a lot of weight, and I couldn't keep food down. And chronic illness has a negative effect on marriage, I guess. And if one party has a certain outlook of how you should be and how you should act and what you should be eating and all the other stuff, it doesn't work, because I tried to fit myself in the box thinking that's what I should do and that's what marriage should do, and it's to the benefit of my boys who were left without a father figure in a very traumatic, sudden way. I totally thought that I should fit into their box. But over the course of time, you start noticing that there's side effects. You don't want to be intimate. Everything feels forced or like a job. Feelings get hurt. And then actions are done, and they're hurtful and they're vindictive. And you don't forget feelings like that. And then there's expectations, and those feelings of, betrayal, they don't go away. And they just add up, and then maybe you're not so crazy anymore, and maybe there is a lot of yelling, and maybe you're not the problem, and maybe you're not the one that has to be forced to go to therapy to fix yourself because you're afraid of the yelling and the banging and all that other stuff. And you don't notice that the babies are afraid of the yelling and are hiding until you see your baby hiding underneath a table or a cabinet. And that's not a life I wanted to live. And I don't even know how I got on this tangent. ADD Emmy again. But like I said, I guess this whole show is about Emmy and healing, right? Getting through all the traumatic parts of my life and healing and get through it, and then trying to help everybody else out, which would be the dream. But yeah. But anyways, I can go into the demise of my marriage. And like I said, I shared with that Bumblebee. It's supposed to be simple. The lawyer did say that he did not yell, which was cute. Still hate him. But anyways, we'll see what the future holds for Emmy and this crazy roller coaster ride. But hey, the great thing about the weekend is we didn't get the cops called on us. And to be honest with you, I was really prepared. I almost put on makeup for that point. Hey, kids are playing outside. Cops are going to be called. It's probably the same guy that comes to the house every single time. He is kind of cute. I did put eye makeup on. Thankfully, they didn't get called. But it's Monday. I have a new caseload, so I have a whole new case of patients. And like every day, I'm just going to make every day count. It's already been a morning. I've already been screamed at by a patient, which is so understandably, so it's not a bad thing. She just felt a loss of control and had to vent. And as a nurse, you take that, even if it doesn't feel good. But I think we have a better plan now. Anyways, I gotta go. Trish, apparently red flag is flowers from the grocery store. I thought they were pretty. My friends told me it is not acceptable. This was years ago. I'm married now. I will say I married the man who bought me flowers from the actual flower shop. Oh, I still have the card that came with the flowers. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I will be that girl. You can't bring me flowers unless they're from the flower shop. But how would you know? I don't think I would know where they came from. I mean, I would just see the good gesture and be like, ooh, they're so pretty. You're so amazing. All right, guys, have a beautiful Monday. I will be on tonight at 7. I'm making that promise to myself, pending life emergencies. And we'll go over Shash Hole's timeline some more, if I have any more tea. I also reached out to Jennifer Frey, the infamous Jennifer Frey from the Blake Lively lawsuit, not to grill her on Blake Lively lawsuit, but to actually grill her on trauma and our emotional responses. Later this week, Friday, I will be interviewing a survivor from one of those teen boarding schools, similar to the one that was depicted on Netflix. I might reach out to the Tilted Lawyer to see if he would like to jump on that. It will be an interview. It will be a live chat, so everybody will be able to ask questions. Please be respectful. I will be looking for a moderator. And I probably will start marketing that soon. Also, I believe Saturday at 8 p.m., I will be live with Bocce. And we'll be catching up on the Jones side of things. I will still be trying to get with Gelth at 10:15 p.m. for Emmy After Dark. He is out of the hospital, I believe, and doing well, I believe, or he better be. And I think he is back to cooking and playing his video games. So we wish him all of the best. That is the tea for your Monday. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Share, subscribe, give me some dating advice. Let me know what the red flags are. Oh, and do you guys think I need like a tracking device? Because this is Emmy. You know, I have not been kidnapped yet. But, and I say that as a joke, and that it really is a joke, but honestly, I'm a little like afraid of that too. Like, how do you protect yourself against that? Do you do like a tracker? Do you do like an SOS call? Do you just have somebody on the phone with you? Like, someone suggested that I go live with you guys on a date just so that, you know, I'm safe. Is that a thing? Nope, see, Bumblebee, I've got 3 new messages. And I find this all funny because I really can't believe that I'm doing this, but really, I guess how else are you supposed to meet people, and how else are you supposed to get that human connection? Because, you know, I just want really good, mind-opening, enlightened conversations. Like, that's all I crave. I'd also like to know how everybody else is trying to save the world, because that's important too. All right, gotta go, guys. Love ya. Bye.